Okay, so my name is Wade Ross Kelly. I'm doing this informational video on for my communications class. So I've been a woodworker for 20 years. I've built a lot of furniture in my life, and I just like to tinker in the shop. And what I have here is one of my favorite tools in the shop, and this is obviously like just a benchtop model. We have a nicer one in the shop, but just to get for demonstrative purposes, we're going to use this. Table saw is really important for woodwork. What it does is it gives you an opportunity to cut straight, perfect lines. Okay, when you run it through, you get a straight line that you can glue together. It makes really great joints. And so there's basically like a couple cuts that we like to use. We like to do a rip cut, which is just straight with the grain. A cross cut, which is where you cut against the grain. A miter cut, which would be an angled cut. And then with table saws, you can also do a compound miter cut, which you tilt the blade and do a tilted angled joint. No, so this is a very dangerous saw. This blade runs at about 4,000 RPMs. So if you were to stick your finger in there, obviously it's going to cut some things. And as we're all college students, we're in the range where we're going to get hurt by saws. 71% of all saw accidents happen to people 15 to 64 years old. That's most of us. And that statistic was from sawaccidents.com. Most of the time, the most common accident is called a laceration, amputation, those types of things, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over compiled 12 safety tips for table saws. We got some of these were adapted from a website called woodcraft.com. So first thing is what we're going to do is we're going to keep it tight. Okay, we're not going to be wearing any gloves. We're not going to be wearing any jewelry. No headphones hanging down from these ears. As you can see, I have short sleeves on. Long sleeve shirts, they sometimes can hang down and they can get caught in that blade and they can suck you in. That's why you don't wear any of those things. Number 2, keep your work area clean. Like if you have a scrap piece of wood sticking out of the blade, you need to take it out, remove it, so that you don't get things flying up after you when you turn this saw on. Number 3, eye protection. Okay, your eyes. I have a blind father. Living without eyesight is really horrible. Wear these goggles to keep any wood from flying up in your ears. Also, ear protection. Put these in your ears so that doesn't harm your hearing. Also a respirator, and I didn't have one to show you, but just you can buy any respirator to wear. Number 3, be aware of your surroundings. If you have a dog running through here, bumping your legs while you're running the saw, it can become dangerous. Number 5, anytime you're adjusting the saw, whether it's moving the fence or anything, changing the blade, make sure it is either unplugged or turned off. Okay. Number 6, what we're going to do is we want to make sure that the blade only sticks up about 1/4 of an inch above our stock. Okay, so when you run it through, it's not sticking this far up, because then you can get your hand stuck in there. Number 7, anytime you're making a cross cut, what they have on some of the nicer saws is they have what's called a miter gauge, and that miter gauge can make this run straight across and smooth rather than you trying to hold it and guide it through where it might kick back and hit you. Make sure your stock is clean from any nails or screws. Those can get caught in the blade and can flip out and cause harm. Number 9, when you're making a cut that is less than 4 inches, that's about that much, okay? It is recommended that you use a push stick. Okay, rather than getting your fingers in here where they can be close to this blade and get cut, what you'll do is you would get a stick, right, and you would push it through, and you're going to let that fall off the edge. We're not going to try and catch it, because of reaching over, obviously, you can catch your arm and get cut that way. Number 10, we're going to make sure our stock stays against the table and against the fence. Because when you start moving it back and forth, those are times when that blade can come and kick up against you. Okay. Number 11, don't get distracted by other things. And number 12, watch your hands, okay? If you're washing your hands, your body will not allow you to get cut, okay? So as you're pushing it through, you're going to watch your hands, make sure it's against the fence, and what I'd like to do is I like to ride my hand right against the fence like this, okay? I will let the stalk fall, okay? And I will come back on the other side of the fence. And it really looks like a robot, but what you want to do is you want to stay here, and you do it the same every single time, and that will keep you from getting cut. So, hopefully you can take these tips and you can practice saw safety and make some really beautiful stuff the next time you're working in your shop.